Thank you, Terry, for that. Bore da, everybody. Can I just start by apologising for my whistle-stop visit today? It seems 2 days into the Assembly term and I've already succumbed to the lurgy. So, but I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to speak at this year's Wales Biodiversity Partnership Conference. In the months now that I've been Minister of the Environment, I've had the privilege of seeing the brilliant work you're all doing across the length and breadth of the country to protect and enhance biodiversity, working closely with local communities and volunteers, making a real difference to the places in which we all live. And whilst I can just about see some familiar faces in the audience with this lighting, this is the first opportunity I've had to talk to you collectively. So it's only right that I start by placing on the record just how valued and appreciated the work of all of you in the Wales Biodiversity Partnership is. Now, I've been struck since I've been Minister by the passion, commitment and expertise that you all bring to help conserve our natural environment that is crucial and essential to achieving our ambitions for our environment in Wales. I'm clear that reversing the decline in biodiversity is a bigger challenge as climate change. I know this is a top priority for you and it's a top priority for me as well. The scale of the challenge we face means that taking small, incremental steps is not enough and it will no longer do. We need transformational change and large-scale action. Action that I believe we are well placed to take in Wales with the principles and priorities set out in our world-leading legislation, the Wellbeing of Future Generations and Environment Acts, our natural resources and biodiversity policy, our new grant scheme and our approach to Brexit. We know that biodiversity underpins and drives the functioning of ecosystems. That's why the Environment Act includes the Enhanced Biodiversity and Resilience of Ecosystems duty, the Section 6 duty. But it's vital that the consideration of biodiversity becomes an integral part of the decision-making process at an early stage and should be embedded into all of our planning from day-to-day activities. We've already published guidance in the form of the frequently asked questions to support public authorities to follow the Section 6 duty, and we're starting to see Section 6 plans emerge. May I take this opportunity to congratulate those authorities that have published or embedded their plans so far. Further guidance on best practice and actions for biodiversity is being produced by a task and finish group comprised of representatives of public authorities, academia and environmental bodies, and there's a workshop on this here later today. I will also be meeting with local authorities to discuss their plans for meeting their Section 6 biodiversity duty. Additionally, the list of habitats and species under Section 7 of the Act are under review by Welsh Government and Natural Resources Wales and will be consulting on that. Public authorities in complying with the Section 6 duty must have regard to the Section 7 list so they have the potential to act as drivers to determine local biodiversity policies. Our overall biodiversity policy is set within the context of our statutory natural resources policy, which was informed by the evidence contained in the State of Natural Resources report and was published last year. It sets out the national priorities for the sustainable management of natural resources, which I'm sure you'll already be familiar with, but includes delivering nature-based solutions, increasing renewable energy and resource efficiency, and taking a place-based approach. Together, these priorities aim to address the challenges facing our natural resources, including the decline in biodiversity, and recognise the broader benefits that getting it right on our environment brings for the health of our communities and the wealth of our country. Indeed, the national priorities will drive action across the whole of Welsh Government. We cannot operate in a silo if we want this to work, and government alone cannot get us there. We know that to realise our aspirations for our environment in Wales will require real partnership working across government, across communities and across sectors with stakeholders. Our biodiversity strategy is set out in our Nature Recovery Action Plan. The plan was published in 2015 and states our commitment to halting the loss and reversing the decline of biodiversity by 2020 and beyond. The actions now need updating to reflect the changing challenges of our political and legislative landscape, particularly as Brexit looms large. Our ambition of reversing the decline in biodiversity requires action by everyone in the Wales Biodiversity Partnership and beyond. That is why this has to be a truly collaborative approach with the owners and all of us to take part and take action. This collaborative approach is demonstrated by 3 major projects in Wales that are now being funded through the EU LIFE programme. New Life for Welsh Race Bogs, Sands of Life and Celtic Rainforest Life. I'm pleased that the Welsh Government is providing financial support for all 3 projects, and that in total these projects are drawing down around £11 million of additional EU funding over their lifetime. Officials have already circulated for comments a draft revised set of Welsh Government and NLD actions that will be taken to help deliver the objectives on the Nature Recovery Action Plan. But refreshing the Nature Recovery Action Plan is simply the start of a process to develop an updated and comprehensive set of actions for all of us. My officials will be setting up a task and finish group to work on a collaborative basis with you all in order to do this. We want to use this to capture and record the ideas and positive work and projects that you are undertaking that will help us to achieve our ambition and objectives. I also want to hear your comments and suggestions on what else the Welsh Government might do, and I look forward to seeing the results of this work that I would like to see completed by the end of this year. Back in the summer, I was pleased to be able to attend the launch of NLW's Vital Nature at the Royal Welsh Show. It outlines NLW's priorities and the ways of working in order to deliver its Section 6 duties for a series of high-level actions and commitments which are aligned with the delivery of our Nature Recovery Action Plan. And today, I'm pleased to be able to launch the refreshed actions to take forward our action plan for pollinators. This action plan, which was the first in the UK, was launched in 2013 and aims to reduce and reverse the decline in pollinators. It has been recognised as an exemplar in co-design and co-production in the UK. It's not a Welsh Government action plan, it belongs to all stakeholders who remain jointly responsible for its delivery. The plan covers work to encourage all to help conserve wild pollinators and work essential to maintain and ensure the health of Wales's honeybees. This is why we fund the work of the National Bee Unit in Wales, who undertake inspections and who last year visited over 700 beekeepers in Wales. This is vital work to maintain the health and resilience of honeybees and to be alert to threats such as the Asian hornet. Many of you here may recall that 2 years ago at this very conference, we launched the Bee Friendly Initiative. This was another first for Wales, the first coordinated national scheme of its kind, which at its heart making Wales a pollinator-friendly country. To date, almost 50 communities, organisations and schools have bee-friendly accreditations, and this includes councils, and universities as well. They have committed to take action to increase the range of native wildflowers available for pollinators, to increase opportunities for providing places for pollinators to live, such as suitable habitat and bee hotels. Of course, no keynote speech would be complete in the current economic and political climate without covering funding and our exit from the European Union. First, on funding. Our natural resources policy sets the context for our new grant, enabling natural resources and wellbeing in Wales. The grant provides an opportunity to access both revenue and capital funding for up to 3 years through collaboration and partnership working. The new grant is clearly set in the context of delivering against prosperity for all and our natural resources policy. It provides a real opportunity to deliver actions within sustainable, transformational change, and I would urge you all to take advantage of the opportunity that this grant provides. The guidance we have issued lists the contact details for Welsh Government policy officials to enable discussions on the focus and content of projects to take place as grant applications are being developed. My officials will also be around to answer questions at tomorrow's funding surgery. Brexit. I know that there's been concern in the environmental movement that our exit from the European Union will result in lower environmental standards and levels of protection and safeguarding for our European habitats and protected species. This will not be the case in Wales. We are fully committed to not only maintaining current EU standards, but to continuing to improve them. We will work to close the environmental governance gap caused by leaving the EU at the first proper legislative opportunity, but this must be done in a way that works with and builds upon the Wellbeing of Future Generations Act and the Environment Act. The EU Habitats Directive and the Wild Birds Directive plays a vital part in helping us meet our international biodiversity obligations and in providing safeguards for our most important habitats on our rarest species and migratory birds. We're not about to change or alter in any way those protection and safeguards, and we will be retaining special areas of conservation, special protection areas for birds and European protected species. But whilst Brexit brings with it many challenges, it also offers a once-in-a-generation opportunity for the sustainable management of natural resources and for the management of our ecosystems and the biodiversity that supports them. We published our consultation paper, Brexit and Our Land, in July. This proposes two new large and flexible schemes to replace the basic payment scheme, Glassdoor, and other parts of the current rural development programme. The consultation is open until 30th of October, and I hope that all of you will respond to the consultation and ensure your experience and expertise help shape our new approach to land management in Wales. The challenge of reversing the decline in biodiversity is one for all of us, and yes, it is an immense challenge. But I am committed to getting us there, and I am confident by working together here in Wales, drawing on your expertise, your passion and your dedication, and putting the principles of our legislation fully into practice, we will rise to this challenge. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much.